After 8 qualifying sessions, 128 players became the final 16, all with one aim, to become the 2011 Pudsey Classic winner and collect the first prize of £1,100. Good evening everybody, join us at Pudsey Bowling Club. I'm joined tonight with Classic organiser Andy Hodgson, and we're just going to have a look at the draw this evening and some of the odds for those that fancy a tipple. Hand over to Andy now to talk about maybe the favourites for this evening and who he might be having a little bet on himself.
Well, what a great field, I must say. First of all, top half in particular contains a lot of the big names in the game. You've got Gary Ellis, who's won the Pudsey Classic twice before. You've got his opening game is against Andy Sprag, who won the Spend Masters just recently. You've got in that quartet, you've got Robert Hitchin and John Bailey, so you've got a real four there, numbers 5 to 8. And I'm sure numbers 1 to 4 will be giving them a run for the money as well. You've got Callum Rate from Shropshire, who's always good value for money.
Excellent. I think we look at it and we see that it's a loaded top half with some of the big competition players. But when we look towards the bottom half of the draw, there's a few local players there, probably a little bit more green knowledge. And I know, speaking to Chris Mordew earlier in the week, that he's concerned about some of the local players he may be coming across. We'll chat now with John Lockwood, knows everything there is to know about bowling, does a lot of travelling around, watches a lot of players. John, who are you fancying this evening?
Well, it's a very tough field. I don't know. I think the winner in the top half will come from Andy Sprag and Gary Ellis.
Yeah.
And I think the bottom half, I've a fancy for Scott Fisher.
Scott Fisher coming out of that 4 there.
Yes, Richard Stockdale's a danger man.
He is, yeah.
Although Chris Mordew's in that 4, who's won it twice. But I think he's top weight on tonight.
Any chance of the showman Callum Rate possibly putting on a performance for us? He's qualified a few times in the
I
past.
think the green's too big for him,
okay,
personally. Very good over 19 metres, but a long way, struggles.
Excellent, so your money's going on Mr Ellis this evening?
I think so, yes. Mr Ellis and Mr Fisher.
Any thoughts, Peter?
No, I've got to agree with John really. I think we watch a lot of bowling, as you know, and they're both, well, Gary Ellis is always bowling well, but just now Scott Fisher's on a very good run of form. He's bowling very, very well, and I give him every chance.
He is, yeah, qualifying with his brother David at the Old Bank two-man team just recently, so plays well. You might know a little bit more about the green coming this year in the Murfield as well, so, but there's a lot of good players to look out for.
Very good field.
Definitely,
good players like
very, very good field.
I think the best field we've had at the Pudsey Classic in the last few years. Join me now speaking to Josh Mordew, a British County Crown Green Junior Champion with Yorkshire this year. Josh, your dad's in the competition tonight in the final 16. Are you fancying him, or are you going to put your money on somebody else?
I always think he's got a chance, but I mean, he plays Steve Gilroy, who's a local lad, and he knows green, and it's going to be an hard game.
It's going to be difficult in that bottom 4 to come out of with the local knowledge.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite from the top half, because there's some big competition bowlers in there?
You've always got to fancy Gary Ellis on here, because I mean, he's won it twice. I mean, he plays Sprag first game, which is a hard game. John Bailey's another good player. Well, they're all good players, aren't they?
Yeah, and obviously coming next week in the Junior Classic, what do you think the key is to mastering this green? Playing long, playing short, what do you think?
I don't think there is. It's something for everybody, isn't there?
Yeah, good, well done, excellent. Thanks very much, Josh. All the best next week in the Junior Classic, and I'm sure your money's going on your dad tonight. I'd like to welcome Mr Mick Smith to the gantry.
Good evening.
Yorkshire legend, captain, 107 caps, and tonight though, Mick, it's at the side of the green for you, and you're going to be running the competition.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a different side, one I'm not really used to, but I'm really looking forward to this tonight with an excellent field, some great players, and a wonderful night's entertainment.
Definitely. If you had to pick a final 2, who would you be saying tonight, do you think?
Well, it's very difficult to look anywhere other than what the favourite is, Mr Ellis, but we've also quite a few players on here who play in leagues and play the green exceptionally well. So we're just hoping that the best 2 players get to the final.
Definitely, yeah. Having spoken to a few people, there's a lot of support for the local players, although we do have a few seasoned competition winners, so it could be a very open evening. The green looks to be playing well, maybe holding a touch. What do you think the key is going to be to playing tonight?
Well, I think the green's playing. It's open tonight for near bowling. I think you'll see some great bowling tonight. Look forward to it.
Excellent, Mick. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you.
2 times classic winner, hoping to make it his 3rd title since the competition started. Gary Ellis, one of the game's true greats. Gary, what is the key to success, do you believe, at Pudsey Bowling Club?
I don't know, certain greens just suit you, and this one has tended to suit me really well, and I've played a lot of games on it know it not as well as the Homesters, but I know it very well. So certain greens suit you, and this is one of them. So.
Yeah, we're looking at the final field tonight. We know there's a lot of strong names in there, a lot of competition bowlers. What are your thoughts on Andrew Sprag in the first game? Good record against him, have you?
Pretty even, really. I might have just have the edge on him overall, but there won't be a lot in it, and it's a very sticky first game. So I'm not looking any further than that, to be honest.
Yeah, possibly better than playing Sprag than some of the local players, do you think? Or
possibly. I mean, I don't know how Andy's done here. I don't know what his form is on this screen. I can't remember him in the finals that I've been involved in.
Yeah, he's recently quite new to the competition.
Yeah, but. It's a very sticky first game. I mean, he's in the top 10 players in the country, Andy, without a doubt. So I'm not looking any further than that.
Definitely. And then we in for a masterclass in the corners tonight, or a little bit of a pegging up this top edge.
See how it goes. I mean, Andy tends to want to go a long way off what I've seen of him. So might be starting off short, and then if you're doing well, you're going to keep going with that, and if you're behind, you've got to try and change the game. So
definitely.
We'll see.
Okay.
That's if you get the jack, by the way.
All the best tonight, Gary. Anyway, good luck.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Cheers.
To start the evening was Shropshire's top player, Callum Ray, who faced Cheshire's David Baskerville. Callum is notorious for making a quick start, and he did just that, chasing after bowls on his typical 20-metre marks and racing into an 8-3 lead. David managed to steady the ship, a little as he thought back to 12-10, but Callum found another piece of land to his liking and scored 6 more unanswered points. Final score, Callum 21-13. Yorkshire County colleagues Mark Regan and Ashley Dakin faced each other in the second game of the night. Ashley dominated the early part of the game with a 9 break to give a healthy 10-1 advantage. Ashley saw out the game 21-5. In Game 3, Robert Hitchin made a 20 break from 3-1 behind to seal the highest break prize on the night and £50, winning 21-3. In the fourth last 16 game, reigning champion and people's favourite for the title, Gary Ellis stormed into a 10-0 lead over Andy Sprag. A comeback from Sprag brought the scores close at 16-14, but Gary saw out the game, winning 21-16. We've got Keith Atzer with us at the moment, Yorkshire County manager. After a successful year, he's come to watch some fine bowling tonight. The first of the first round games has come off with an astounding 21-3 for Robert Hitchin. What do you think, Keith?
I think it's marvellous, Robert. There were 3-1 down. Second favourite on the heat. They bet 4-7 John Bailey, 5-4 Hitchin. As lots of people who will be watching this programme later on will see that I've followed Robert for 35 years now, and he's played some of his best bowls tonight that I've seen for a long time. And Robert won a competition last week in Rochdale, so his fine form's going on. He doesn't like playing left-handers, but having been 3-1 down, a 20 break there from Robert's been absolutely superb in 3/4 corners. Played marvellous, Thomas.
Does that put Robert Hitchin as one of your favourites tonight then, or would you still money on somebody else?
Well, I mean, with me, obviously Robert rules my head sometimes, and I put money down when I really shouldn't be. But if he plays as well as he's played tonight on this very difficult green at Pudsey, he could really go all the way. Obviously, it's very difficult in that top half of the draw.
Anybody else in this first 4 blocks that we've seen tonight that you could be putting your money away?
Well, Ashley Dakin's played very well. He's played a short mark up the green edge against another county player, Mark Regan, and Ashley seems to be running away with his game. Obviously, there's Gary Ellis and Andy Sprag, two excellent class players. It's very difficult, this top 8, but you know, anything can happen at bowls. 1 minute you can be playing well, change of the weather, bit of rain, and then you end up really throwing them all over the place. All I could really ask for is that the wind keeps off today, and you probably will see some marvellous bowling tonight. Excellent.
Finally, just the bottom half. Anybody there tickle your fancy?
Well, they're all talking about Chris Mordew, how well he plays this green, but my man really is Scott Fisher. But Scott Fisher's, just like the weather, is very, very unpredictable. I mean, he could come out and just beat everybody to single figures, or he could just bow out in the first round, Thomas.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Keith. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Thanks very much.
We'll have the action from the bottom 4 in part 2. Join us there.